Hey guys, welcome to Saints TV. Welcome to the Saints TV Round 23 preview show. Now, firstly, off the bat, apologies I couldn't get this video out last night in the regular Thursday night slot when the teams drop. I was feeling really ill. I put it on my Insta stories and my Facebook stories, and got a lot of messages from everyone wishing me well. So thanks a lot, guys. To the people that didn't hear the news, here I am. It's Friday. The benefit is that the official teams come out at 5 p.m. on Fridays for the Sunday game. So we've got the full team. We don't have the extended bench crap from Thursday night. It's now refined to the ins and outs that we'll play on Sunday. So without further ado, let's get into it. So we're playing Fremantle, round 23. It's at a weird 12:15 slot. And it's at Dunstan Arena in Tassie, where we have history against Fremantle. So that brings back a lot of memories from, I think, 2006 when Fraser Garrick lost his shit and punched 10 million different people and and gave up 3 consecutive 50-meter penalties from one end of the field to the other. But I doubt this game is going to have the same type of feeling as that game. In terms of our ins and outs, Ben Long is in. Jack Bytel is in. A lot of Sainers will be happy to hear that. And Paul Hunter is in. Now, in terms of the outs, Darragh Joyce was always going to be an out. He's out with, I believe, concussion from the tackle from Tom Hawkins. Max King is injured. He's got the adductor issues again, and they weren't going to risk him. No need to. Ryan Burns omitted. Now, I don't know. I feel like, what's the point of omitting a young player with 1 game to go in the year? You know, I feel like you just play him anyway and you drop someone else. But he unfortunately gets omitted. He's had a good stint this year. He's played over, I think, 10 games and he's been pretty good in all of them. So he's had some good exposure to AFL football. And no doubt 2022 is going to be a big year for Ryan Burns. The other one, and this one's a bit of a surprise, Luke Dunstan. Now, he's a player that is kind of, we don't know what's going on with Dunstan, whether he's going to stay, whether he's going to go. If this doesn't really give us any clear indication of either. If he stays, you think he plays, and if he goes, you probably think he plays anyway, just so that he can have a big performance and that kind of ups his demand from other clubs, and maybe we can get more from him. Or maybe now we know that the decision is done and there's no point playing him. But I just think there's no point in omitting, this week's, it's a dead rubber, but at the same time, players are playing for careers and players are playing for position in the 2022 starting lineup next year. And to drop Burns, who I think could be a starting 22 next year, I don't see the point. Max King's injured, Joyce is injured, Dunstan. I think the only reason, if anything, is that Bytel needed a game, and you're not going to drop Seb Ross or any other midfielder, to be honest. Dan Hanbury's back, you're not going to drop him. Brad Hill's back, you're not going to drop him. So the only logical like for like was Dunstan, despite his form. And I guess Jack Bytel's the one. So that's what we all wanted. That's what a lot of people commenting on the page, on the St Kilda pages last week were wanting, was someone out for Jack Bytel. And it's Luke Dunstan. And we may never see Dunstan play for the Saints again, but Jack Bytel is a player that we all know has huge potential and a player that needs time and needs experience. Now, Paul Hunter, he's the other in. I guess it's just more support for Rowan Marshall. Marshall struggled big time last week on Reece Stanley on his own. And I'm wondering if it's just that, the game before he played such a big game against Tom Hickey that he needs a chop out now. Regardless of who it is, he needs a chop out. And Joyce was that chop out last week for moments in that game. But obviously he's injured now, so Paul Hunter comes in. And that throws us to Fremantle. Their in is Andrew Brayshaw. They've lost Blakely and Schultz, both injured. And I think the logic of bringing Paul Hunter in is that they've got Sean Darcy and another ruckman, I believe, might be Josh Tracy, that goes into the ruck and helps Darcy. And Darcy's almost all-Australian ruckman at this point. He's had a huge year. It's been his best year in his career. He's had career-high numbers in everything. And he's the main reason why Fremantle find themselves in their position of potentially making finals. It's players like Darcy and Sarong and Chera and Brayshaw, Taberner, these sort of guys that have had really good, consistent years and have delivered for them in games where you probably thought they weren't a chance, and they got the chocolates and they've found that form. It's a weird game, really, because Fremantle have got everything to play for. We don't. And that's when we've played our best for all year, is when we are backs against the walls. We're the underdogs. Although, funnily enough, in terms of the betting, we're the favourites, which again is a bit of a slap in the face because Fremantle have a chance to play finals and we are still favourites despite having no chance of playing finals. That shows the inconsistency in our lineup, is that our best is very good and our worst is pretty average. I think we've only really played one bad game in the second half of the year, and that was against Carlton. But apart from that, we've been pretty consistent in every game. We've had a chance to win every game. Last week we're in a winning position. The week before that we beat Sydney. We could have beaten Port. We could have beaten West Coast. We beat Brisbane. We beat Richmond. There's been some really good performances and there's been some average performances and there's been a lot of, competent. There's been consistent performances. We didn't get that in the first half of the year. Absolutely not. Second half of the year, big improvement. It wasn't enough to make finals, but it was enough for us to, I guess, for the keyboard warriors to calm down a little bit. I don't know what Saners are feeling towards this game. I think the most exciting thing is to just watch Sharman again, watch Bytel do his thing, watch some of the youngsters get around. Hopefully Higgins can have a big game. The players that didn't have a lot of decent form throughout the year, can they get some form? Can Brad Hill finish the year with a big performance? Can Dan Butler kick a bag, his first bag of the year? Can he do that? That's the sort of stuff that I think I'm looking out for in this performance. The other thing is I want to beat Fremantle, obviously. I don't think that really puts us higher on the ladder or, maybe one or two positions more. It may not be much of an improvement on our current position. But I guess if you can't make finals, what's the next best thing? You beat a team and ruin their chances of making finals. So I really hope that's what we do. I think we line up well against Fremantle. Last time we played them was a catastrophic performance where we kicked, I think, 7-1 in the first quarter. And then we dropped the game, and that was very early on in 2020. To me, they've played the youngsters, and the youngsters have just been able to get experience after experience after experience. They've got no Nat Fyfe at the moment, but they don't need him, which proves that the youngsters that they've got coming through are really willing to take them to the next level. And the ones that we have to watch out for in this game are Sarong, who was astounding in the Derby last weekend. Adam Chera, who's a gun, and we don't know whether he's going to leave at the end of the year, but he's a very good player. And then you've got someone like David Mundy, who's about 36 years old, and he's still playing like he's 24. He's an insane player in terms of his consistency over the last 15 years. He just doesn't waver, and he sets the tone for that team, especially in the absence of Nat Fyfe. So we're going to have our hands full, especially because Fremantle know that the result is very much in their hands and their finals chances in their hands. But I hope that we set ourselves up to finish the year on a high, because there's nothing worse than missing finals and then ending the year on a loss. That's happened too many times in the past for us. And if you can't make finals, you've just got to win the game and create some excitement going into the off season, because last week was a hit. This week for me in general has been a shitty week. It's been a down week. I'm feeling pretty sick, and Saners aren't making finals, so that all adds up to a pretty average week, really. But the one cure I can get from this is the boys can bring a decent performance on Sunday. It's going to be an early slot, but hopefully they bring it, and we can see some performances from all the players in round 23. I'm going to wrap it up there and recover, and then do my best to get ready for a big Sunday. The plan for Sunday is, and there's a few different things to this. me, Marshy, and potentially Joycey are going to be doing a watch along, and we thought, well, we haven't been able to go to games and be amongst the fans. I mean, we haven't been able to watch games together in the flesh at all as the three of us, so we're going to try and set up a watch along. It'll be me, Marshy, and potentially Joycey, and we'll be watching the game live on Saints TV, on YouTube, and on Facebook, so just watch out for that. And then right after that, it's going to be my live review on Facebook and YouTube, and then after that, it's going to be live as well, the fan cams with all the Saints to talk about the game and to talk about the year in general and to see the season off, hopefully on a high, and to talk about a win. So I'll wrap it there, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for everyone for their messages over the last 24 hours. It's been really nice. It's been, kind of lifted me up a little bit. I've been very, just bedridden, basically. Slept for the last 24 hours. So, thanks for your support and looking forward to chatting to all of you on Sunday, hopefully after a win. Until then, guys, enjoy your Friday night and your Saturday, and I'll see you Sunday. Go Sainers.